Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. We're doing Blantons today. We're doing a lot of Blantons. A lot. But basically what I want to find out is vintage Blantons better than new Blantons? Also, is the stuff that they're exporting to other countries better than the Blantons they're giving to us? So, what we have here is a really amazing, interesting collection of Blantons that are quite a bit old and from other countries. So, what we have over here, the first one, is from 1995. It's the Blanton's Takara Black 8-year 80 proof Japanese export Blantons. Next to it, we have, I'm not doing these in the correct age order. I'm doing them proof-wise for these first three. So this one is a 1997 Blanton's Takara Red, 8-year, 93 proof Japanese export. This one is the 96 Blanton's Takara Gold, 8-year, 103 proof Japanese export. This is the 2019 Blanton's Blue Label, 98 proof. This was a Poland only release. So that one's not as old. That one's pretty new. This one is a 1989 regular single barrel Blanton's that was exported to Japan, but it wasn't a special pick. It was just a normal Blanton's. So this over here will compare just 1989 to 2020 and 2020 and see how they compare. And we're going to try these special picks that were foreign exports to see, are they better? Are they better than normal Blanton's? So let's dive in. Let's find out. Let's see how it goes. Now, this is 80 proof. Now, this is the lowest proof Blanton's that I've ever had. So it's very interesting to see what happens to Blanton's when you really water it down to 80. It still actually has pretty nice flavor. Brown sugar. The rye is a little more apparent than I normally get from Blanton's. I find that sometimes with certain bourbons when I've tried a wide range of proof points, sometimes the rye really piles up when you add extra water to it. There's a little artificial sweetness hiding in there. A little bit of cherry, a little bit of oak, and some vanilla. Let's taste. Pretty muted, pretty flat. Big surprise for 80 proof. But it's 8 years, so that there's a lot more oak than I'm used to on Blanton's. Blanton's is typically 6 years, approximately 6 years. I'm finding a little more oak on this one than I normally do. It's probably just that extra couple years. Let's move on to the red, 93 proof. This has got a funk to it. This is almost a copper pot still kind of funk. That's interesting. Oh, that's weird. It kind of gives me that copper pot still feel. Almost like an Irish. That's odd. I mean, your typical Blanton's flavors, solid. I like it a lot better at the 93 proof than at 80. 80 was just too thin, and the flavors were not well developed. They didn't really blossom on your palate at all. That's odd. Now, I have tried these once before this. I shot a video and the sound didn't come out on the video well. And so I'm reshooting this. So I don't remember that one giving me copper pot still notes the first time through. It's very odd. but that's what it smells like. That's strange. Okay, let's move on to the gold, the 103 proof, 8-year Japanese Takara. See, now this one's giving me the copper pot still too. Am I going crazy? Hold on. No, see, I don't smell that on the normal. Wow, that's wild. Okay. The rye is very nice. There's a really nice, different rye here. Now, obviously, this is, from 96, so I kind of expect it to be a good bit different, but that's interesting that it still hits me a little copper pot still-ish. See, I don't really get that on the 80, but on this one I do. Very sweet, very bright, very alive. The oak isn't as apparent in the gold as it is in the red. This is back more to really, nice caramels and brown sugars and vanillas and cherry and your real standard bourbon-esque notes. Let's taste. Oh, that's nice. The rye is real candied and sweet. That's very nice. I like that a lot. Okay, so that's the Japanese that I have here. This one I'm not going to count as Japanese because it's just a regular single barrel that happened to be exported to Japan. These were picks specifically for Japan. This is just a crapshoot that it went to Japan. So next I'm going to try the Poland. Actually, no. Let's wait. Let me compare what I just tasted to my 2020. I'm sorry. This is probably completely unfair because this is what I lovingly call my honey bottle. This is the best bottle of Blanton's that I've ever had. And this was dumped on June 8th of 2020. It's barrel number 219. It was on Rick 20. And of course, it's 93 proof. But this is far and away the best bottle of Blanton's that I've ever had. Super caramelly and super syrupy and just thick and viscous. This is like aged in magic wood. It's the same wood that, that Dumbledore made the Elder Wand out of, or, whoever made it. Whatever. Magic wood. Oh, that's outrageous. That's outrageously good. Okay, so it's probably unfair because this is such a standout bottle and outside the norm for Blanton's, but I prefer my regular bottle that I bought. Where did I find this one? Did I find this one at Walmart? I can't even remember now. I found this one in a sister bottle that was just a couple barrel numbers different, and they were both amazing. I found them at the same time, and I've been really carefully nursing this one and not drinking much out of it, as you can tell, and so that it lasts a nice long time. But my regular one I found on a shelf somewhere. I like it better than these special release Japanese ones. Let's see if the Polish only release can live up. Now this is from 2019, Poland only, blue label, 98 proof. This is a nice one. This one's really nice. Super, super sweet, almost cakey. And it's almost got a little like vanilla cake and icing on the nose. Like buttercream icing. Oh, let's taste it. The palate is way different than the nose. The palate gives you a really nice rye, good amount of oak, and neither of those are readily apparent on the nose. That's really nice. I like the Poland one. The Poland one is pretty great from 2019. That's pretty great. It's so funny. The nose is wildly different than the palate. Anyway, let's move on to this here single barrel from 1989. So vintage Blanton's versus modern Blantons. See, I'm getting that copper pot on this one. It's probably not a copper pot. I'm pretty sure they're not using a copper pot for Blantons. But it's similar to that note. That's really wild. It's funky. It's got some must to it. It's got like a sour candy almost. Like man, what is that? It's almost like a sour candy or a sour gummy. Wow, let's taste. The palate even goes a little sour. It's a little sour. It's musty and not like mildewy, but it's like wood, musty wood and funk and that little sour note. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, let's compare. Man, they almost don't smell anything alike. This one's got all that musty, oaky funk obviously from the barrel. And this one's just rich and creamy and decadent and oily. Oh. Okay. So, hands down, my favorite bottle of Blanton's beats this whole line. There's really no comparison. This is so creamy and oily and rich and just super sweet and dense. And some of these are a bit stringy and thin and there's a couple that I like better than others. I like the gold Takara and I like the blue label. I'm not wild about the 89 Blanton's because it's awesome to try a Blanton's from that long ago, but I'm not wild about the flavor of it. It's, real musty and funky and just odd. It's not super pleasing on the palate. It just comes across a little harsh and all that funk and weirdness is just like, whoa, what's that? Instead of like, ooh, yeah, wow, ooh, what's that? So anyway, they're not exporting the best stuff. And some really great bottles of Blanton's can be found just sitting on your Walmart shelf for $60. So I get it. I mean, for years I totally didn't understand why people hunted Blanton's until I got a really great bottle of Blanton's. And then I was like, oh, I get it now. It makes sense. So, hey, single barrels, what are you going to do? They're crazy. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, have a great day.